A question I get asked really often is, do you leave your lights on 24/7? We've got tons of intelligent lights in our auditorium for a church our size. Most of them, though, don't have, is it RDM, remote device management, where you can send a DMX signal to turn it off and on. They're just cheaper lights, and so they've got fans running, things like that. And my answer to those people is mostly no, we don't. We turn them all off, even the ones hanging up high. So how do we do that? Well, it comes down to this little wireless remote controller socket, and we have a bunch of them. So let me tell you about why you might want to pick up a few of these off of Amazon. So you want me to cut to the chase? Here it is. We like these Beanlink devices. Essentially, you can control 5 different units. They are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have an on-off button, and like the light behind me, if I click off on this remote, it turns off because it literally cuts the power to that light. If I click on, I can hear it actually click on, and then in a few moments later, that LED that's shining up behind me comes back on. And it's really that simple. So we've probably got 15 or 20 of these different sockets around our worship center and media booth. And for us, it's really been helpful. We have lights in places where we don't have access. We don't have a catwalk. And we've had some of these Beanlinks for 7-8 years now. And all we've had to do is change the battery on the remote every year or so, and they're still going strong. So these can handle up to 10 amps per socket. So you really should have no problems with that. We even have some where we have 5 lights linked together, but the master is going into this. So when we hit the on button, all 5 of those lights fire up. These are RF controlled, not Wi-Fi or 2.4 gigahertz. It's actually in the 400 megahertz band. So they have about 100-foot range. For us, I'd say 50 feet is probably where you want to max out. We usually are holding the remote up and pointing it towards the sockets just to have that clear signal going to them. Rarely do we ever have an issue where we have to walk over and stand underneath the little socket. We just have all of our remotes together. Before service, we come in, turn everything on. After service, we hit all the off buttons, turn everything back off. Now, when I say everything, not everything is on these. Really, it's just our movers that have fans and moving parts to where we want to make sure that they're not needlessly running throughout the week when we're not programming or using them. But that's not the only use case for these. We also have our Teradek receiver units mounted up on the wall where they're really not easy to get to power on and off. Well, sometimes those need to be reset, and really we've found we have better luck if we don't leave them running 24/7 and we just power them on that morning when we need them. So those are also on these wireless remote control sockets. Now, when you go searching around for things like this, you're going to find a lot of Alexa-enabled devices. I would opt to not get smart ones. I just don't think you really need it. There's too much that can go wrong, in my opinion. I just wanted a dumb on-off setup, and so these foot the bill for that. They do come all paired together, so it just works out of the box, but you can make them learn if you need to do that with a new remote or something. And worst case scenario, if you can't get it to power on, if it's down on the ground where you can get to it, there's a button on the side of the devices where you just click it and it'll turn on and off that way. So in the last 8 years or so, we have had one that went out and it was up on a high truss where we couldn't get to it. So I did have to replace that one. But I'd say we've had a pretty good run with them, and I always recommend them to guys for those solutions where you need to just quickly turn off lights, leave them on, but just cut power to them without having to go back to your breaker box and cut power to everything on that circuit, because I know some guys that do that. All right, guys, I think that's about it. It's a pretty simple device, but you can check out the links in the description. I'll link to these that we use here at Central. And if you have other solutions that maybe I'm just not aware of that would be handy for something like this, let me know. I'm not really interested in putting all of our intelligent lights on a companion button or something like that. But maybe you have some other cool way of handling, this problem that we might have, because we want to take good care of our gear, be good stewards of it. So if you found this video helpful, why not hit the like button? If you aren't subscribed yet, come on, man, why not? Join the party. We're having a great time as I document my journey of being the worship and media arts pastor here at Central Baptist Owasso, where I'm always trying to do great things for God's glory. Remember, guys, that's what it's all about. All right, we'll see you in the next one.